On the agenda tonight, we're going back to 1957. We're going to be taking a look at Elvis Presley, and he's going to be performing Don't Be Cruel. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So tonight it's going to be a bit of a different video because we're going to be looking at a performance where Elvis is introducing the song himself and he spends a bit of time talking to the audience, so we get a bit of a feel for his personality and the difference between his personality before the performance and then during the performance, but also just generally knowing what Elvis was like when he performed. As always, there's a link in the description below, so you guys can click on that if you want to watch it the whole way through without me interrupting it, because I am going to be jumping into this even in the intro to point out a few things as well as the song then later on. So I suggest you go to that video for no interruptions, but we've got Elvis up on screen, so let's see how he gets on.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to do the song that was my very biggest record last year. I mean, it was no bigger than the rest of them, but sold a few more. And I'm
just going to jump in here because watching Elvis here is great because there are so many things that make him different. First of all, I mean, just his body language, and look at his eyes. I'm going to take it back. Look at where he's looking, because he's making eye contact with so many people in the audience. Sometimes you'll get an artist, a singer, who is presenting to the camera and kind of looking around a little bit, but not specifically really picking people out. But Elvis has this. He's picking out eye contact with so many people.
Thank you very much.
And you can almost tell the height of the crowd because of where he's looking, from the first row to the second row to the third row. And I mean, he's got this personality that was so engaging because it's opposites. He's got this, you know, almost insecure and introverted way of talking and engaging with the audience, but then when he'd perform, he'd be extrovert. So it's something that, to understand, it's intriguing because it's difficult to understand how somebody can be so extrovert but be so introvert when they're talking. So this is why this video is great, because we get to see this long intro and get a grasp of Elvis's personality away from performing, but why he was so engaging when he then performed, because you're pairing it with this personality.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the other thing that he does, I mean, we're not even talking about vocal performance here. Actually, we are. Because listen to how long he waits between his sentences. Now, when I'm talking all the time. So you're getting information and words are just getting ticked off by your brain, and there's no sense of waiting for what I'm saying, apart from maybe then when I did think about what I was saying. But Elvis does this all the time. He puts in these pauses that make you anticipate what he's saying. And I don't know whether this was deliberate or not, but it most likely wasn't deliberate. But this is something that people who are experts at talking have this in their delivery, where they wait. And it's almost like waiting a little bit too long, but not quite. It's exactly what Elvis does here. So you're anticipating what he's saying. That's the point.
Thank you very much.
Even there, why was there such a wait? There was no need for that, but he just has this. And again, it's intriguing because normally people would say thank you very much, even towards the end of the applause. So people haven't quite stopped yet, and you say, oh, thank you very much. but he waits for silence and a few seconds of silence, then talks, and listen to the gaps. I mean, it's amazing that he is working the crowd here, even with his facial expressions. And I think he knew what he was doing because he was a showman. He knew how to not only build anticipation, but what other artists call letting it simmer, which is gauging the mood of a room and the mood of your audience and leaving these silences for just as long as they think they need to be left for the atmosphere to simmer. And again, it's just testament to what a great performer he was, not only on stage, but having this judgment to know where the audience is and now how to deliver what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to do the song that was my very biggest record last year. I mean, it was no bigger than the rest of them, but it sold a few more, and we'd like to tell you that to all the people.
I mean, his eyes are all over the place, and it does actually come across as maybe nervousness, but it also has the effect of engaging the audience, bringing you closer to him before he's even started performing yet, and throwing in a bit of humour there. It's great because it puts the audience at ease, but it's just an intriguing personality. There's no other way of saying it, that you're just interested in what's going on in this guy's head because of the personality conflict of introvert and extrovert.
Watching, and all you people that are here tonight, that we really are thankful for all the success that you made us have and everything. This is my biggest record, and it goes something like this. You know I can be found sitting home all alone. If you can't come around, at least please telephone. Well, baby, if I made you mad.
So, and then the voice comes in, which is great. Again, if he wasn't good at singing, then all of that beforehand would have been lost. You've got to come in with a great vocal, and the great thing about Elvis's vocal was not only the pitch accuracy, the control, but the tone, just the overall sound of it, which we've spoken about in that vocal analysis video that we did. But listen to things like this. The constant vibrato throughout a phrase that, again, just adds something to the vocal that wasn't there in previous phrases. It's that. He's got the. He's got. And it almost sounds like that you can hear the words. But there's so much wobble in there that you almost can't hear the words, but you can hear the words. So again, it's like an art form in itself, having that much vibrato in the sound, but still making the words understandable. But it's just another thing that Elvis did with his voice, just throw in vibrato in a whole phrase and actually within the wording of that particular phrase.
Something I might have said.
And listen to the humming. I mean, we can get into real detail here, but listen to the hum that he goes to.
Something I might have said.
Something that might have said. So that's I mean, not that I want to try and sound like Elvis, but having that M in something that might have said. He's kind of making the whole phrase like it's almost like a hum, but with just allowing enough air to come out that you can form. Well, he could form those words, you can understand them. But again, it's such a unique thing to be doing.
Please forget my past.
And again, just like they're throwing in a high note really quickly, but it's not really, it's just a bit of expression that he's throwing in there. it just makes it stand out.
If you can look right ahead, don't be cruel. I don't want no other love, baby, it's just you I'm thinking of.
And again, editing that dynamic of no, 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 being quite, I don't know, quite connected vocally, and then letting more air come out for the end of the vocal phrase, so that it's a sound that is, so much less offensive, but again, it's drawing you into the performance by editing that dynamic constantly.
Don't make me feel this way. Come on over here.
And it's that kind of thing, throwing in something that is so confident, so extrovert sounding, when you then compare it to his personality at the beginning, you wouldn't expect that personality to do something like that in the middle of the performance. Just go, just make a weird sound. But again, it's great. It's all about the showmanship, the performance, and engaging the audience. But this, contrast between personality out of performing and then during a performance.
You know what I want you to say. Why should we be apart? I really love you, baby, 'cause my heart. Well, let's walk up to the preacher and let's say I do. Then you know you'll have me, and I know I'll have you too. Don't be cruel. It's true. I don't want no other love, baby. It's just you I'm thinking of. Don't be cruel. It's true. Don't be cruel. Too hard. It's true. Here we go. Well.
I were young again, no fooling. That's wonderful to be that way.
And there we have it. So, realistically speaking, in this TV performance, what we have during this song is limited showmanship, apart from right at the end. And that's what gets the crowd getting a little bit crazy because of the extra movement that he's doing. The other thing to mention about this performance and the intro and when Elvis is talking, that if you look back to 1956, for example, and even on the Ed Sullivan Show, you'll see him performing and looking really confident, coming out with a guitar. The intriguing thing about this performance is that when he's talking at the beginning, it seems like actually this is really his personality because of how well he's been doing and how well he's done over the last year, for example. Like I said, going back to 1956, this is 1957, so he's humbled by the success that he's had, which again is another thing that really endears him to the audience, but it also shows you a bit of his personality underneath the showman, but almost behind that curtain of being the extrovert on stage, we're now getting a bit of his personality and understanding a little bit of, what he's about and how genuine he is. Going to see somebody live, that is still what it's all about. But especially back in the 50s, imagine that you're seeing this guy on TV, you're hearing him on the radio, you might even have seen him in movies, and now you go to a show and that's the guy. That is Elvis up on stage, and every movement that he does, I'm not surprised that the women were going crazy, because I think nowadays we're so used to seeing people all the time on social media, and it can almost be an oversaturation of seeing that person because you just get your phone and then you can listen to their new song, see their new video. But back in the 50s, you had to wait until you heard them on the radio, or you had to wait to tune in to the Ed Sullivan Show. that's the only time you got to see your idol, but then you could get a ticket to actually see them live. So yeah, it must have been amazing. And even though sometimes it's hard to see the audience and comprehend why they're going so crazy, when you try and put your mind in that place of being back in the 50s, then you maybe start to get more of an understanding of it, that it was so rare to be able to see somebody like Elvis live, because all you've ever done is see him on TV and hear a song on the radio. So yeah, I mean, great to look back at Elvis, as it always is, in 1957 here. And thank you guys for requesting this particular topic for a video for tonight. As always, keep the suggestions and requests coming in the comments section below. Let me know what you guys think, and if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!